welcome back, everyone. We are continuing work on Sweet Treats album. This is page 3, and there are several cuts you have to make, but it's a really fun page. So let's get started. You can write these all down and then hit pause and cut them. But flap A is going to be 8 7/8 by 8 1/2, and that 8 7/8 is 2 lines before 9 by 8 1/2. B, again, the 8 7/8 by 4. C is 8 7/8 by 5. D, these are 2 small pockets, so you'll need 2 of them at 3 1/4, 3 3/4 by 5. E is 8 7/8, 2 lines before 9 by 8 3/8, and 8 3/8 is 2 lines after 8 1/4. F is a pocket, and that's 8 7/8 by 4 1/2. Okay, so let's get started. Bring out our scoreboard or score runner. And flap A, let's just start. We're going to have the 8 1/2 inch side facing up. So since it almost looks square to me, I just want to not take any chances and measure that. That's the 8 1/2 inch side. So we'll score a 1/2 inch. Most of these score marks are a 1/2 inch, unless I'm making a gusset, then you would need 2 score lines. But when that comes, I will show you. So flap A, flap B, you're putting the 4 inch side face up. Flap C, we've got the 5 inch side face up. D. Okay, so these we need to have our 5 inch side facing up to start with. And so we'll start that way and score 1/2 inch on 3 sides. So you score it, you rotate it to the right, score again, rotate again, and score again. So basically there's 2 score lines on the shorter sides and 1 going across on the bottom on the 5 inch. So you need to do that twice. And let's see, E, I want, the score, I want the 8 3/8 side facing up. Okay, so 8 3/8 faces up. And F is a horizontal pocket, so I want to start always with the top that I'm going to have, the side that I'm going to have open facing the top. So I'm going to have the long side open. So I'm going to start over here, put that 8 7/8 at the top, rotate, okay. And now we will bring out our tape. Where to put my tape? Okay, my tear tool, tape, and let's start with flap A. Okay, so, yeah, this was for something else, so I'm just going to leave that there. That was a mistake. But I'm going to tape across here. B, I'm running tape across the bottom. C, just right at your score line. D, put the tape all the way around. F, just goes here. I mean, that's E, and F is a pocket, so all three sides. So you can hit pause and come back to me when you're ready. We're going to start laying these down. So I've got my page here. It's page 3, page 4. Okay, so I'll turn it to page 3. Flap A is going to go like that. So I want to fold this. And this flap is going to go, let's see, this is on the left-hand side. So I think I'm going to just take off I used this for something else and had it left over. I'm just going to take off that piece of tape that I don't need. You don't need to do this. Dries pretty quick. All right, so I'm gonna put this on the left-hand side. So I'm lining it up top and bottom. There's just a little bit of space at the top and bottom. I'm gonna make it flush using my thumbs to guide me along here. Okay, like that. Flap B. Where's my B? B. It's going to go right on top of here. So this way. Goes on, let's see. Hold up. Flap B. And that goes over on this side. C will just go over here. Okay. So flap B goes on top of flap A, and it's going to be on the right hand side. I want to line this up. You know, to help me see better, what I think I'm going to do is take a light piece of paper, just so I can put this under here so I can see the black better. You can also do it with it facing you if you flip it around. Okay. Okay. Flap C goes on the left-hand side of flap A. Up on the sides, and I fold this over under here. Okay. Let's lift this up, and we're gonna put flap E on the inside here. It's gonna be lined up with the right hand side, And I'm just gonna fold this over and just lay it in here. And just before I peel the back off, I want to make sure that this end of the paper comes before this score line. If it touches the score line, then this is hard to fold over. So you want it to be a little bit of space between the score line and this flap, which there is. I'm going to corner round this end, otherwise you may not know this is a flap, you know, so you want to be able to see a little bit of the paper underneath. So let me try to find my corner rounder. Let's see. I don't see it, but you can go ahead and corner round the insides that are going to be in here. I will just do mine later. A little bit of space, teeny at the top and bottom, but this is flush over here. Okay, and our pocket, the big one, goes in the middle here. So let's take flap F. And I'm going to do like I cut my pockets. I go up to that intersection there and turn right. Fold this over. Okay, so I fold this down and press that there. This here. Now I'm putting it right in here, and there's just like a 1/16 of an inch on either side, and that again is so our flaps can fold over. And I'm going to line it up with my thumbs across the bottom. Looks good, and I'll press it down. And then I'll peel this. And just by not having all 3 sides sticky, it's just easier to place this down. So I kind of like doing it that way. Okay, let's go with that and that. Boy, a lot of magnets I can see are going to be here. So what we need to do is put our pockets underneath this B flap. Okay. I'm looking at this, and this is awfully close. I think I'm going to cut just a little bit off one of these flaps. Let me grab, just because when my doors are closing, it's just like they're smack even with each other, and there's not really a lot of room to move this flap over. So I'm going to take just a tiny little bit off of one of these flaps. And that is an advantage of working on your pages outside of the book. Yeah, that gives me a little space so it opens and closes better. Okay. Now, I want these pockets to go right here. Yeah, so let's cut our corners and then we can lay them out, make sure they fit next to each other. over. And I'm gonna just lay them out just so I know where I want it to be. Okay. I want a little bit of space between the top and bottom. The reason is, okay, I'm going to be using these Graphic 45 tags, and I want to make sure that this fits in here, which it does. And I didn't want these to be too long and this would wobble around. So I measured it based on this tag, okay? So these aren't they do have real fat ones from Graphic 45. These are the thinner ones. So because of that, these aren't going to be smack up next to each other. There's going to be a little bit of space at the top and the bottom and in between. So as far as decorating, that is okay, because it just looks like there'll be a black rim around it. Okay, so let's get this down. I'm gonna make this face me. Take off the bottom and press that in, press that in. Okay, so I'm gonna leave this one sitting there just as a reference point, and I'm gonna have a little bit of space at the top there and a little bit on the side here and right before this fold line. Okay, I'll do this other one first before I take off the side pieces of tape. I'll leave a little bit more room. Okay. And again, we only had the bottom because I want to be able to move these around. Okay. I am going to erase this. This white gel pen comes right off, and that was just so I could film and show you, but I don't want it sticking out of my design paper. There. Okay. Okay, so I'm happy with that. So I'm going to take off the tape that's on the sides. So that way, I was supposed to have the opening towards the top. Silly me. All right, hopefully you didn't do that. But let's just fix this. Sorry about that. I felt like something was wrong. All right. No problem. That is why we have undo. So this is like a hidden pocket underneath, and I'm just so used to the bottom going across the edge of the paper that I didn't think that one all the way through. But nothing is a big deal because we don't have our design paper down yet. That part is expensive. But you can still use undo on that. It doesn't hurt the paper. I'm going to retape that side. Okay. Sorry about that. Okay. Let's do this again. Let that dry a second. I want my opening towards the front because that's where my tag is going to go. Silly, silly. Okay. There we go. 2-minute fix. Take off this paper. Okay, so now, just to make sure, my tag would be going here, and it holds everything in place and just looks nice. So let's get started putting down some magnets. Some people don't put the magnets on this one, but I'm going to. It's heavy, and I think it's a good idea that I magnetize everything. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I have one, let me grab my magnets. I'm going to put one here on flap C. And tape it down. And then just fold this over. Now this flap, I'm gonna put, I'm gonna put two. So I'm gonna put one on each pocket and then fold that over. Good. Now this whole thing, I want to put a magnet. Trying to decide if I want thick. I think it can go with just a regular magnet right here in the middle. Okay, so take another one. And put it like in the middle of those two pockets. Right around there. Okay, and then this one, let's see. You don't have to, because this lays pretty flat, and this will be on top of it. But I'm a magnet person, I just love them, so I am gonna put one there. But this one is not absolutely necessary. If you want to conserve on magnets, that would be fine. So there we have it. Now I will show you what I did with the decoration. I like to put all the flaps, put the layout together, and then decorate. So this would be page 3. So again, I have these tags, and they come from Graphic 45. Let me just get that. Okay, so Graphic 45 has these wider tags. You know, this is number, there's 9 of them. They're called square black. And that was just too wide to put one on top of the other. So I went with the next size down. And they come, it's called a rectangle tag. So these come in those rectangle tag albums. And yeah, so it's a little bit thinner. And what I do have is I have the die cut for the long tags, which I've used in other books, and that's the same width as this tag. It's just going to be longer. But what I do is I take my paper. This one I use from Sweet Treats. That's on the back of one of the papers, and I just cut it to about here, and then I just corner around it, and it fits on the tag. So I think they probably do sell this in the smaller, but I just bought the long one, and I can use it for the long tags and for these tags. So I have that. Okay, you can also add a pink ribbon here, pink or green. And this ice cream cone is from the 12 by 12 pack, Stamperia Sweet Treats. So I cut the cone out to make it centered, and basically I took the 12 by 12 paper, put it down here, and just put a little pencil mark on the paper where it would come to this. So I leave like a 1/16 inch going all the way around, and that's how I measured that. This is the back of one of the papers. Okay, next to this ice cream cone, there's a chocolate ice cream cone. So again, I just cut it so that it would fit this way. And then I laid it on top of the pocket and cut here and here. So there's that. And this is their main cover paper of the girl with her cupcake. This comes right next to her, so I cut this out. This is a piece of one of the papers. It's scrap, and I just fussy cut it all around here, this lace, and put it there, because otherwise it wouldn't. I needed to fit, and it didn't. I had a little bit of space left over, so I just took a scrap and put it there. So scraps are important. This goes like that, and I put my tag in this hidden pocket. Okay, for the inside, this is from Dress My Craft. This is just a piece of cardstock. It's by Basil, and I wrote down the name of it somewhere, but it's, let's see, hold on, I'll try to find it for you. It's by Basil, and it's called Aqua. So that's that, but you can check out your solid papers and find something that you think goes. This is a piece of chipboard ice cream cone, so stay consistent. And even though this is Stamperia and this is Dress My Craft, it has a rose here, that has a rose, so it just matched. And this is the other side of that. This is from the macaroon page, so I thought that looked really cute. And again, that's that solid piece. For the pullout, I use a little scrap here, so it kind of goes. And if you want to wait to the end and see what's left over so you don't take up something that we're going to use, I always do that. I just wait till the end and see what matches this page. So that was page 3, and I thought that was fun. Next we will be doing page 4. So come back.